Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Steve Moore. I do not have the live video feed going because I was asked to present some slides on how to scan this morning, but it's great to be here with everybody on a Monday morning. Before I get started, Gary had asked me to just make a quick announcement here. This Thursday will be the fourth week of the master class. That will be at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And then also the last masterclass will be April 9th. I'll be doing that one, going over a plan on how to duplicate with Ruby. And so I was asked this morning to go over how to scan to acquire subscriptions using the Prysm device. A little bit about my background for those of you that I haven't met. I originally studied to be a chiropractor, but I've done sales my entire life. When I saw the first biophotonic scanner with the Pharmanex supplement line and the new skin compensation plan, I immediately realized that this was going to be an absolute game changer and decided to jump in full time and not pursue going into practice as a doctor. And it has been an exciting journey. It's been over 22 years that me and my team have focused on scanning people, putting them on subscriptions, and scaling this into a national and international business. I've been a team elite for over 10 years now, and our team has close to an 80% subscription rate. We've been able to maintain that almost my entire time in the business because of a lot of the systems that we've been able to develop to teach people how to effectively scan to get subscriptions. Remember, we are not in the business of just selling Prysm devices. We are in the business of helping people get on subscriptions so that they can have results on the products and we can have recurring revenue so that we're not having to chase new business every single month. And that was one of the things that was really exciting to me when I joined, because I had sold home theater equipment 25 years ago in college. I was a top performer at doing that. But every month I started over from zero because there were no recurring revenue streams. There were no consumables. And I just want to bring to everyone's attention that we are really mindful that the strategy is not just to sell the Prysms, but to always sell a Prysm with a subscription. In fact, you'll probably sell a lot of subscriptions without the Prysm. In fact, that's what we do. We sell a ton of subscriptions, and then the Prysm is the upgrade, not the other way around. And so I'm going to walk you through the process that we have been using for a long time. We've obviously have refined this over the years. But to get started quickly with Prysm, number one, you've got to learn and you've got to gain the knowledge and have some confidence. Nobody is going to buy from you if you don't know what you're talking about. And so a great way to learn about the products is just to use them, right? But the company's put together some great videos on Prysm. You don't need to be a scientific expert on this. There's a 30-minute video with Steve Hatchett that you can watch that is excellent. There's some shorter videos to really understand what you're talking about. Be prepared. People will not buy from someone that isn't confident in what they're talking about. And then you've got to learn about the products. And the company's got 3 to 5 minute videos. They have product information pages. I would recommend doing that. Take some time, invest in some time to learn about these things. It's not very difficult to do. Don't make it overly complicated. And then using the products and sharing your story, sharing your results. If you're not using the products and you're not getting a high score, it's going to be difficult for you to talk to people from a point of integrity. So use the products, start working on your score, go on your journey, and share it with other people. I recommend charging for the scan. Now, it depends on the scenario, right? If I'm scanning a friend at my house, I'm not going to charge. But if I'm scanning an event or somewhere out there in the public, we charge. And I believe that this scan is very valuable. The equivalent blood test is around $300 to $500. Okay, so people will value things if you value it. And so we recommend charging for the scan in a lot of scenarios, around $25. I mean, I've been at several events, and we walked out with $200, $300, $400 cash just from scanning. And what a great way to add some additional revenue to the front end of the plan. And then you're then going to go to step 4, which is place the order. We like to use My Site to be able to do that. Some people like to use product offers. They're both great ways of doing that. And then the key here is to schedule that rescan and talk to your customers about how they're doing, right? The scan is great for creating the awareness. The rescan is what creates your retention, and that's what creates your loyalty, and that's what creates your recurring revenue, and that's what creates your growth. And so let's talk about where people are spending their money, because one of the biggest objections that some of you may or may not be getting are, well, the LifePak product or the LifePak NAND or the Youth, they're expensive. Well, really, if you think of where people are spending their money, you know, you can't even get a cup of coffee at Starbucks for $3, right? Red Bulls are $3.99. Go to any gas station, you'll see them there for $3.99. Coke, French fries. Gas is now, you know, $4 to $5 a gallon. Yet we think that LifePak at $3 a day is expensive, and we have to shift our perspective on that personally, and then we can help other people do that as well, because people spend money every single day. You know, you look in the middle, what do you get for $7 a day? Well, you can go to Starbucks here and kind of get one of their drinks here. You get a couple gallons of gas or get an Egg McMuffin, and for $10 a day, which again, people do all the time, every single day, look at your Starbucks and look at what people are spending. Look at the people, you know, people that are unhealthy or people that are smoking. You think like, well, they don't have the money to spend, but yet they're spending it elsewhere. And all these things cause a negative impact on your health. And so what we can do now here is our job is to educate people to invest in their health. And we kind of lay this out. This is a model that we've been using for a long time here. These are general concepts here, and I'll go over some specific sales strategies and a sales process in this presentation on how you can actually execute this. But at $3 a day, you can get a good product. I mean, great quality product, but compared to the other ones, this is our good starting point at LifePak, and I always like to pair LifePak with Optimum Omega. A couple reasons is, number one, we all should be taking fish oils. It helps balance out inflammation in the body. There's so many health benefits to fish oils, from allergies to brain health, inflammation, joint health. It also helps LifePak absorb better. But when you put those two products together, it also puts you over the $100 threshold for a subscription, which activates all your subscription rewards, and people start earning free product when you're over $100. A better approach is LifePak and AgeLock Youth, which adds all your anti-aging and longevity benefits with AgeLock science. And then the best would be then to build on that foundation of LifePak and Youth and add one or multiple targeted solutions depending on what people are interested. And our job here is to encourage people to prioritize their health by investing it. The number one investment we can have is in our health. And if we lose our health, most people are willing to spend any sorts of money to try to get it back, and they've lost it. So you get the best return on investment when you're investing in yourself and in your health when you're healthy. So here is the workflow or the sales process that we go through. These are the 5 steps that we have been using for a very long time. I mean, I'm saying we've done this for probably 20 years. And so step number 1 is you're introducing the Prysm and the program to the person. Step 2, you're going to scan them. Step 3, you're going to move to recommendations. Step 4, you're going to enroll them. And then step number 5 is you're going to rescan them. So let's talk about step number 1 here, which is the introduction. We like to use the assessment form. You guys have probably seen now different versions of it over the last several months or so. I personally like to use a plain form without any pictures on it for several reasons. One, it's simple, but people are printing these at home, and when you start putting pictures and all kinds of things on there, it just drains your ink, and then the forms don't look as well. So I just think keep this simple, and we just have a very simple form in here. We also have several videos the company has that you can have your prospects watch. There are so many of them out there. I don't know if there's one that's necessarily the best over another one. I think they all work. Here's one by Tanner that we like a lot. That's about 4 or 5 minutes about oxidation. And then, so when we introduce the program, you can have them watch a video, or you can talk to them a little bit, depending on what you're comfortable with. And then when you have them fill out this assessment, you're going to find out what their needs, their wants are, what their budget is, which I think is one of the most important things here. and what their health concerns are. What are they trying to address? And our job is to help people make recommendations and make product recommendations to help them address their health concerns within something that's going to meet their budget. So that's the introduction. We're going to move to step number 2, which is the scan. And you can see here it talks about offices and vital signs. I really think of the scan as like your nutritional vital sign. It is your nutritional score. I was just talking to, on my way home from the gym yesterday, I bumped into our neighbor's sons. They just graduated from college, so they're, I think, 22 years old right now. And we were talking about this a little bit, and it's amazing how many young people are really interested in investing in their health, and they were asking me a bunch of questions. And I really had to make it simple for them. I said, this is your nutritional score. This measures your nutritional protection. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. So you can explain it any way you want in the introductory phase. You'll find what works for you, but we're giving you just some tools to help you get going. Now, when you scan somebody, make sure you clean the lens. That's super important. Make sure your device is calibrated. If you've moved from a different environment, in other words, if it was in your car and it was hot and you're going into a cold home or vice versa, you want the device to acclimate to the temperature of the room to help get more accurate scans. If you're outside and you're in sunlight or you've got a lot of overhead lighting, you might want to, when you put the person's finger there, you might want to cover their finger with your hand to block out some of that ambient light that's there to get better results. And then you're going to place their finger on the lens. You want to place it flat in the middle of the pad of the finger, not on the tip. You don't want to press hard. Just lay it on there nicely, and then just follow the scan procedure. The company has some short videos that you can watch about this. And then once you get your score, you want to record it so you know what their score is and record it for them as well. Then we're going to move to step number 3, is you're now going to make a recommendation. And this is where you explain their score and what impacts their score. Like, what are antioxidants? How do they protect you? What causes your score to be high? What causes it to be low? You can discuss age lock if that's something you want to discuss with them. And then you can recommend products that address their health concerns based on their budget. And then just because they give you a budget of $1, $3, $5 a day doesn't mean you can't always upgrade them, right? That's really their starting point. And I've been in many situations where someone told me I have $3 a day, and I introduce them to age lock, and they say, I want that. And then I introduce them to the beauty focus, and they say, well, how much is that? I want that too. How many of you have gone shopping before? You had a certain budget, but then you saw something else you liked and you were willing to invest more. And so their budget isn't their limitation. It's really just their starting point. And the process that we use and been using for a long time, and the way that we recommend things, if we've used all different types of things, like years ago, where we had a bunch of sheets that we would print out, and we found it was very difficult to get people to execute it. So we put it all into a really nice brochure here. Many of you are using these. And what I was asked to do here today is not only teach how to scan, but also teach the process that we use and how to walk through this. So when we recommend things, I personally will write their score, record it on the brochure so they have a record of it. And then I look at their assessment here on the right so I can understand what they want and what their budget is. It gives me information so that I can meet them where they are and I can make the recommendation. And I've got some nice visuals and something that they can take home with them as well. And whenever you can give something to someone, they take ownership of that. And that's why brochures are such powerful sales tools, because now you're transferring that recommendation to them. And now it's theirs. They're taking ownership of it. And now you're just helping them make a decision now. And so this is the first panel of it. So we'll write their score here. We'll put a grade down below, and you can see the little color wheel here. And we explain what causes oxidative stress, or what causes your score to go down. We explain free radicals and how they're attacking your cells, and how antioxidants provide a shield to protect your cells. The more you have, the better. And at the bottom here, you've got a visual example. Everyone's seen an apple. You cut it open, it turns brown, it oxidizes. And we all know, or many of us know, that if you put lemon juice which has vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant. It protects that from rotting and decaying. And the same thing happens with your cells. And so we go through this to help explain their score. On the right-hand side, these are just the bullet points or some talking points to help you walk through this process. Now, an important thing here on the bottom in orange, if you are not a healthcare provider, make sure you are not giving medical advice. You're not talking about diseases. You're talking about supporting their health, and we want to be very careful that we are not making any medical claims here. So on the second panel here, this is where you can talk about age lock. This is the most advanced longevity or anti-aging supplement on the market. And what it does is it addresses the sources of aging at a genetic level. So these little color-coded things here on the top, these are what are called gene chips. And this is a way of measuring your aging process at a genetic level. So when you're young, you can see what it looks like. When you're old, you can see the changes that happen with your genetics as you get older. And what AgeLock does, it allows the company to create products that can reset or restore the genes back to how they were when you were younger. Essentially, as you get older, your genes get dirty. And what this AgeLock does is essentially cleans up your genes so that they're functioning like they were when you were younger and healthier. And this affects everything in the body. Then we move to the next page here, which is now this is your recommendation part. And we've made some optimization here with the recommendation part. We've now added elements to it, and so now and we've added steps to it. So step one is choose your foundation of your Prysm certified solution. In other words, choose your life pack. Do you want the basic life pack? These are for people that value budget over anything else, and so you've got a product that's about $1 a day. And we always talk about price per day or investment per day, not per month, because that's what people think about. You know, they don't think about how much they're spending in Starbucks a month. They're thinking about how much they're spending that day or with that order. So better would be Life Pack, right? This is going to be a more comprehensive formula. This is about $3 a day. And then the best one would be Life Pack Nano, which is about $5 a day. So you can see why it's so important to understand what their budget is, because that's going to help you make the recommendation. Very similar to a realtor. Any good realtor, the questions they're going to ask are, what are you looking for in a home? What area do you want to live in? And what's your budget? If they don't know your budget, they have no idea what house to start showing or what houses to start showing you. And it's the same thing with our program. We really need to know what that person's budget is, or at least their starting point, so that we can make better recommendations that are going to fit their budget. You recommend something too expensive for their budget, they're going to walk away. You recommend something too low for their budget, you're not going to meet their needs, and you're going to undersell them. So this gives you a guiding starting point, and then you can always move from there. Now, if someone says their budget is $5 a day or more, I'll talk a lot more about AgeLock Youth and how this drives longevity support. So step one, we choose a foundation. Step two, we're going to add the AgeLock Youth to it. And if someone is around $7 a day as their budget, I'd like to optimize that with the Life Pack and the Youth. Those two together are the most popular combination that we sell to our customers, because it's a really great balance. You kind of get the best of both worlds here. And then you can always add a targeted solution. So we have one that improves energy, mitochondrial support, sexual health. That's going to be the AgeLock R Squared Vitality. That's about another $2 to $3 a day. Beauty Focus Collagen, I think we all know what this does. This is also certified to improve your score. That's about another $3 a day. And then AgeLock Meta helps with gut health, inflammation, and resets metabolic chemistry. And that one's about another $3 a day. So you can put together a combination here where, again, you start with the foundation. When the foundation is strong, everything else you add to it is going to work better. Then you can work on the genetics, and then you can add targeted solutions. Now, there are some scenarios where someone says, you know what, I don't need a multivitamin, my score is great, I eat really healthy, but I'm really more concerned about aging, or I'm more concerned about skin, or I'm more concerned about metabolism. You can skip the life pack and go directly to a targeted product if that's what that person wants, right? And if their diet is great and they're not that concerned, they're not motivated for a foundational product, then help them get what they want, which is whatever their priority is. And then you can always go back and say, you know what, that age lock meta is you're probably not eating perfectly every day. And if you add one of the life packs to it, it's going to give you a strong insurance policy to make sure you're getting all of your nutrition every single day, and it's going to help that product you're buying work even better. And a lot of times you can go back then and you can add life pack at the end. So this is how we recommend things. And let's go here and see if this slide will advance. Oops, I think we might be stuck. All right, well, I can't. You know what? That might be our last slide. So for some reason, this is not advancing. Let me see if I can go over here. And, oh, okay, there we go. So then steps 4 and 5 are to enroll the person. Now, I find that if you place the order with them, you are 5 to 10 times more likely for them to actually order. The mistake I see a lot of people make is they send people home, and I made this mistake just the other day. My wife's friend says, yeah, I'm going to order this and that, and I want to go on the site. She even sent me a link saying, is this the product to order? And I still don't think she's completed her order. It doesn't mean she's not going to, but what happens is people get busy, they get distracted, they lose the moment, and so anytime you can sit down with them and help them get started and walk them through the ordering process and do it with them, you're far more likely to get them enrolled in a subscription. And then again, make sure that you put a note to schedule that rescan. And if they buy a Prysm, make sure you talk to them along the way. Hey, how are you doing? Sometimes people don't get into the habit of using it. And so when you call them, you can talk to them about it and get them excited. And so these brochures are available on crispresults.com. There's a bunch of other marketing material. OTG was able to put together a 10% off with any purchases this week on not just the brochures, but any other marketing material on here. You guys can scan the QR code. I believe it expires there on March 30th. And so together we can make a huge, huge impact on helping people improve their health. And again, when you're also making the recommendation here, this is the last panel of the brochure. This is where you can select their products. This is where you can review the subscription benefits. Ask them, would you like me to explain the benefits of subscription? I remember that orders over $100 will receive, I believe now it's discounted shipping of $2.99. They get an additional 10% discount on all subscriptions. And then when the subscriptions are over $100, they get $50 in free product every 3 months. And when the orders are over $250, they receive $150 in free product credit every month. So huge benefits of getting subscriptions. And when you learn how to talk to people about their health and prioritize it, your goal is to help them get results. Results don't happen just by buying a Prysm. Results don't just happen by buying one box of the supplements. Nutrition takes time to get absorbed into your body. Nutrition takes time for your body to start responding to it. And so I always like to set the expectation, to give this a good 60 to 90 days initially. Most people can commit to that. And then I talked about the benefits of subscription. Why would they only buy it one time when they can get these benefits and they know that they should be on it for at least 2 to 3 months to start to feel the benefits? And obviously we want people to be on these products long term. I've been taking these products now for over 20 years. So is my wife. So are my children. And we strongly believe and understand that these products have made a huge difference in our health. And so together, we can go out there and make a huge difference. Our goal is to bring Prysms and subscriptions into 10 million healthy households. Prysms alone will not do it. We need the Prysms and the subscriptions to help those people get healthy in their homes and to help us grow our business. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Have an awesome week. Looking forward to hearing your stories on how you are scanning and how you're putting people on subscription. Have a great week.